ग्रन्थस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे सुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदयादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत् सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरोप्यहेतुके। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 87, verse number 23. So we were studying verse 23. Some part of the commentary was remaining. Nibhrat marun mano akshadrudhayo gayijo hridiyan munaya upaste tadariyo piyayu smaranat स्त्रियोर्गेन्द्र भोज भोग भुज दंड विषक्त धियो वयमपि ते समा समुद्र शंघ्रि सरोज सुधा. So in this the Shrutis are saying that those who control their life here, do pranayam and control mind and senses, so they attain Brahman. And similarly, those enemies which are killed by Krishna, they also attain that. And the women of Vraja, the gopis, they were completely attached to Sri Krishna, and we will also attain that position following in their footsteps. So this was the verse in which basically the importance of Krishna's person as Swam Bhagavan, as well as the devotion to Krishna, the importance of these two things is shown here. So some commentary was remaining. Atra atmavare drashtavya srotavya mantavya nididhyasitavya. So he says here in this verse we can also see the meaning of the famous statement. This is a very important statement from, I think it is from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, spoken by sage Yagyavalkya to his wife Maitreyi. So it says that Atma vare drashtavya shrotavya nididhyasitavya. That Atma is to be seen, means realized. And for that you have to hear, means you have to study, then you have to deliberate, and then you have to meditate. See the process. So drashtavya is the goal, that is the prayojan tattva, and srotavya, mantavya, and nididhyasitavya, this is the abhidheya process to be followed for that. So he gives the meaning to it. Comments, he says, atra arthasya drashtavya sakshat kartavya. So drashtavya means to be seen or should be seen. So it means that it should be realized directly. And how to do that? The process, asya sadhanani ahu. So that is srotavya. First is hearing. And hearing means hearing from the Guru. Sri Gurur Mukhad Upkramadibhis Tatparyena Abdharitavya. So one has to study from Guru, and one has to understand the meaning of Shastra by hearing, by logic, Upkramadi. So these sadlingas, Kramopsanghara, Abhyasa, Upurvataphala, Abhyasa, Uppattischa, Sadlinga Tatparya Nirnaya. So this is very important because these days people are very averse to studying and they give so much logic against it, which is so amazing that their own teachers, their own gurus have written books, and all acharyas, great acharyas have written books, but they say no, we should not study. I mean, such a, what can be called, glaring tamas. So the Shruti is saying first thing is you have to do Shravana. And in Bhagavatam so many places it comes. Tasmat sarvatmana bharat. It says, therefore you should srotavya, mantavya, kirtitavya. Chitavham. If you want freedom from fear, then you should hear. Hearing means studying. And then it is not that you just hear from one ear and let it pass out from the other. And then you have to digest it. Mantavya. Mantavya means digesting. It's not that you eat, and like those Greek kings who used to vomit. Romans. So eat and then vomit. So that's not the process. Eat and digest. So that digest is mantavya. Then you have to have a deliberation, discussion with other students, sit down, what did we study. So asambhavna, viprit bhavna, nivaranaya swayam punarvicharaniya. So again deliberating on it yourself or in the company of other students to see what has been said. Is it possible? Or is something else possible? Like that. And then nididhyasana. Nididhyasitavya nischayana dhyatavya. So ni is nischaya. So ni means that with certainty then you have to practice it, you have to do sadhana. It is not just that you study, become scholar, then go and preach to others. So then you have to engage in practice. Atra jnaninam mate savishesha nirvesha bhede api nirvishesha eva tatparyam. So there are two types of people, the jnanis and bhaktas. So those who are jnanis, they understand that reality is savishesh as well as nirvishesh, but their conclusion is only nirvishesh. So they think that the ultimate is without any qualities, indeterminate. Nirvishesh means indeterminate, savishesh means determinate. So their conclusion is in qualityless, formless Brahman. That's what they think and they want to attain that. Vaishnavanam mate tu aprakrita vichitra visheshvati Śrīmad-Bhāgavata eva. According to the Vaishnavas, the conclusion of the Shastra is in Bhagavan, not in Nirvishesh Brahman. So, Bhagavad-akara, who is aprakrita vichitra vishesh, because his form, his qualities are aprakrita. They are not material, transcendental. Yameva esa vrinute tena labhya tasya esha atma vivrinute tanum syam. So this is stated in the Upanishad that whomever he blesses, that person can attain him, and to such a person he reveals his form. So that means he has a form, because it says vivrinute tanum swam, swam tanum vivrinute. He manifests his form. Kalyan gunmaya tanum atma Sri Bhagavan, tanuman atma Sri Bhagavan drashtavya tat sadhananiya. So therefore Bhagavan, he has Kalyan gunmaya tanu, he has body which is very auspicious, which is transcendental, and that has to be seen. So he is again seeing now it from the point of view of the Vaishnavas. First he gave a general interpretation of this mantra. Now he is speaking from the point of view of Vaishnavas. So Vaishnava wants to see the form. So drashtavya tat sadhanani, for sadhan is srotavya. So therefore one has to hear Sri Guru Mukhat tan mantra shravanam. So one takes diksha and takes mantra from the Guru's mouth. Mantra maya vapusha, because mantra, Bhagwan and Vigraha and Shastra and Guru, they are all non-different. Guru is non-different from Vigraha, from Bhagwan, from mantra and Shastra. They are all manifestation of Bhagwan only to facilitate for a living being to understand, practice and then ultimately reach him. So therefore it says mantra maya vapusha iti kram deepikadi ukte. So Kram Deepika is written by Keshav Kasmiri. It's a book which explains about worship of Vigraha, various mantras are given, meditation. So tan mantrasya tat swarupatva ukte, because his mantra is his swarupa. So Shabda Brahmani Nishnata Parabrahma Digachati. So it is through the Shabda Brahma that one attains Parabrahma. So means through the mantra which one gets from Guru during Diksha, one can attain him. So Mantavya. So Mantavya now has a special meaning. What is Mantavya? Mantra Shabdarthyo Samyak Manan Lakshanam Smaranam. That now you have to, once you hear the mantra, then you have to do manan of the mantra, which means you have to do japa, mansik japa. And you have to think of the shabda and artha, the mantra and its meaning. Samyak manan lakshanam. So that is the manan, smaranam. And then nididhyasitavya, mantra artha samyak manan purvak bhajana abhyasat sveshta deva swadidrikshaveti artha. Then nididhyasan. So nididhyasan means desire to see him after proper deliberation of the mantra. Then bhajan abhyasat, doing the practice of bhajan japa. Then one wishes to see the Ishtadeva. So that is the drashtavya. Didriksha abhyasad drashtavya. And then by this practice one sees him. Atra niror ekarthatvam ishtam. So this nididhyasava and nishchayana dhyatavya, that nir and ni, they have the same meaning. The word ni nididhyasan means same as nishchay purvak. Vedanam kam bhave chayam tu yamam smritva niskame sakamo bhavati. So the wish of the Vedas to meet with Krishna, because these verses are spoken by the Vedas, and in the sloka they say that they also attained him. So there is a statement, yamam smritva niskame sakamo bhavati. By remembering me, a person who is niskam becomes sakam. Generally we are trying to become niskam, but it says that he becomes sakam. Means he becomes full of desire to see Krishna, to be with him. That sakam. Iti Sri Krishnokti Rupa Gopal Tapni Shruti. There is also Gopal Tapni Shruti Vrajastri Jana Sambhuta Shrutibhyo Brahma Sangata. That he manifested, the gopis manifested as Vrajastri Sambhut Shrutibhya, and then they attained Krishna. Arthasya Vrajastri Janeshu Sambhuta Brihadvaman Drishta Tapo Virutpannaya Shrutya Tabhya Hetubhya Tam Prapya Itiva. So the meaning is that the Shrutis who were praying to Krishna, they were as described in Brihadvamana Purana, they were born as gopis and attained Krishna. Krishna va Brahma Sangata Prapta Ved Sangva Bhut. Brahma Sangata can have two meanings. One is Brahma Sangata means that they attained Brahman. Brahma, the word Brahma also means Veda. So it means that Krishna attained the association of the Shrutis in the form of gopis. That can be the other meaning. So that is the end of this commentary. Then sloka number 24. Kahyanu Batavarajan Avarajan Janmalayograsaram Yata Udgad Rishi Imanu Deva Gana Ubhaye Tarhi na Sannasa Sadubhaya Nachakala Java Kimapina Tatra Sastram Avakrishta Shahita Yada. So he says Kahyanu Veda Bata. So Bata Ashcharya, that who can actually know him? Bata Kahyanu, here who can know him? Why? Our Janma Layo Agrasaram, because he is the one who existed before anyone existed, and everyone is born after him. So how can you know somebody who is born, who is existing before you were even born? How will you know him? And yet udgada rishiriyamanu deva ganaupi. So all these rishis beginning from Brahma onwards, and the devatas, the presiding deities of the senses or the material elements, both types, they were all born later on. And tarhi na san na cha sadubhayam na cha karjava kimapi na tatra. There is nobody which exists, neither the cause nor the effect, nor the time or the divisions of time. This is during pralaya, when he takes everything inside him, including the shastra, and sleeps. So therefore there is nothing there that no one can know. So commentary. Tasmad bhaktireva sarvashrestha sughata cha. Therefore bhakti is the best process and it is easy to do. Bhakti vishayasya tav jnanam tu sadaiva durghatam. But you who are the object of bhakti, knowledge about you is very difficult to attain. Bhakti is sughata, but you are durghata. Because how to know you? Kahe anuved bata. Bata ho. But means surprise. Bhagavan iha jagati agrasaram purusiddham tvam avar janmalaya arvachin utpatti nasman kon upaman veda samyaktaya janati. So he says that, O Lord, you are agrasara, you existed before everyone else. And all the people, they are born afterwards and they also get destroyed. So who is that person who can know you properly? Samyaktaya janati. Yatastvasta rishir veda veda guhyani hritpateriti shruti migyam eva. Because from you only come the sages, the Vedas and the secrets of the Vedas. You who are the master of the heart. And even the Shrutis are searching for you. Shruti migyam eva ityadhyukte. Tavyat yaschinmatra tattva gyapakam pratham udgat pradurbhava. So you are the chinmatra tattva gyapaka. Prathamam udgat, the first who was born, that is Brahma. Yam devam no ubhaya deva. And the deva who are of two types, they also do not know. Indriyadhishtataro. There are devas who are presiding deities of the senses, like eyes, ears, nose, skin. All these 10 senses have their 10 presiding deities. So Digvatark Adi, the directions, the air, the sun, etc., they are devatas. And then there are devas who are in charge of different lokas, planetary systems. Brahma lokadi adhishtataro brahmade. Like Brahma is in charge of Brahma loka. Udagu, they come from you. Tasmat tebhyo api avar janmalayastu sutram eva na veda. So they are also born after you and therefore they do not know you. Then what to speak of human beings who are born even after the devas are born? So how is that somebody is going to know them? That is not possible. Yada tu bhavan sarvam avkrishya upsanghritya shayita tada nasat sthulam akashadi na cha asat suksham mahadadi na cha ubhyam sad sadvyam prarabdham sariram nacha kala javaha nitannimitta bhut kal vaishami. And when you take everything within yourself and go into your yogic sleep, at that time there is no sat. Sat here means the effect, the karya, the gross objects such as the Panch Mahabhutas. And nacha asat. Asat means the cause or the subtle. Cause is subtle, effect is gross. So Mahat Tattva, Ahankara, all these things, none of these things exist. And Nacha Ubhayavan, the both means combination of these two in the form of our body. Sad Sadviham Prarabdham Sariram. That which is an outcome of this Sat and Asat, this cause and effect. The body, all these things do not exist during dissolution. And there are no movement of time also called Java. Java means Vega, or movement. Tannimit bhutam kal vaishamyam, which means that there are no divisions of time. Because time we make divisions on the basis of movement of the sun. If sun stops moving, or earth doesn't move around the sun, then how will you know what is the time? So na kimapi indriya pranadiyapi. There are no senses, there is no pranavayu, nothing. Nacha gyapakam shastramapi. In fact, at that time even shastra is also not there. During dissolution, shastra also does not exist. Ayam abhipraya. The meaning is as follows. Srishti samaye dehadi upadhikrit bahu vyavadhane satyapi gyapak shastra sattvat sadhan sambhavat cha varam yat kinchit tad bhavan sambhavedapi. So he says that there are two situations. One is the time of the duration of creation, when there is creation, we are existing here. Another is the time of dissolution. So he says that during the time of creation there is some possibility of knowing you, because people, the human beings, have body and shastra is available. So there is at least some possibility of knowing. It is a better situation. Although there is a vyavadhan, although there is a separation, that there is a Atma, and Atma is covered by subtle body and then it is covered by gross body. So there is more covering during creation period, but still there is a possibility of knowing. So that's why it says Bahu Vyavadhane Sati Api, Dehadi Upadhikrit Bahu Vyavadhane Sati Api. That during creation there is a separation between Jiva and Paramatma because of the coverings of the body. But there is possibility of knowing him because the Shastra which carry the knowledge are still available. And sadhana sambhavacha, and you can also practice because you have a body. So you can do sadhana. So therefore this is a better situation. Yat kinchit tvad bhanam sambhavedeta. So there is some possibility of having some knowledge about you. But during dissolution, bahutar vyavadhana bhavepi shastra bhavat sadhana bhavat na kinchin matram api tos jnana. But during dissolution, although there is no covering, there is no gross body, there is no subtle body, none of these coverings are there. But there is also no shastra, so there is no possibility of any knowledge at that time. Because shastra is not there and we don't have any means to do sadhana. If body is not there, what sadhana can you do? So therefore it is worse situation. Although it seems that the covering are removed, but Atma in its conditioned state cannot do without the covering. So na kinchin matram api tvajnanam. So there is absolutely no chance of any knowledge of you. Atas tvajnyan agraham parityajya tvad bhaktireva kartim yujyate iti. So therefore giving up any effort for jnana, we only do bhakti. Atra ko adha veda kahya pravochat kuta ayata kutayam visrishti arvag deva asya visarjanena atha ko vedayat abhabhuva ityadya. So there is a Shruti which is giving the meaning of this mantra or this sloka, that who knows you here, who can speak, from where have we come, who has created this, all this deva etc. they are arvak, they are born later on. Asya visarjanenat ko ved, and who knows who created this. So adha sakshat ko janati, meaning is that who knows you directly, napi kaschit, nobody. Gyapayita ityahu ka pravochat, and who can speak about you. Asya visarjanena etat kartrik vidhi srishtya eva deva arvaka bhavan. Because devas are also created, so they are also arvachina, they are also born later. Atha adanta tasmatya idam vishwam avabhuva tamko vedaiti. Therefore, who has manifest himself in the form of this world, who can know him? In other words, nobody. And then next sloka is a very complicated one. Janimastah satamriti mutatmaniya cha bhidam vipanam ritam smaranti upadeshanti ta arupitai trigunamaya pumaniti bhidaya dabodha krita tvaina tatah paratra sabhavedam bodharase. So the way this sloka is interpreted is as if the various philosophies who really do not take to bhakti, they try to understand him. So janim asatah. So some say that it is born from asat. Asato sabjayate. Asat karyavad is also there. Buddhist people speak like that. And satamritim, and then there are Naiyayikas who say that there are 21 types of suffering. Moksha means that you become free from 21 types of suffering, then you are having moksha. And uta atmani yecha bhida. And Sankhya says that if you do prakriti purusha viveka, you can understand the distinction between prakriti and purusha, material nature and living entity, then you are liberated. Then the prakriti leaves you like a stage actress who has been recognized. And vipanam ritam smaranti upadeshanti. And then there are Mimamsakas who say that by karma phala you go to Swarga. That is the reality, Vipanam Ritam. So like that they remember, they instruct by Arupitam. Arupitam means by Aropa. They impose all these qualities on various qualities onto Atma, and then they speak like this. Trigunmaya pumaniti bhidaya dabodha krita. Out of ignorance they think that Jiva is also made of three gunas. And then they speak all these philosophies like that. But you are beyond avidya, tvaina tatah paratrasa bhaved abodhrasa. You are abodhrasa, you are supreme conscious transcendental being. So commentary by Vishwanath Chakravarti. न केवलं भगवतस्तवेव तत्त्वं दुर्गेयम् अपितु विदुषाम् एकमत्यभावात् परम पुरुषार्थतया जीवात्मनो अपि तत्त्वतो ज्ञानं प्राय दुष्संकम् इति आह. So he says that it is not that only knowledge about you is difficult to attain, but because the various philosophers have disagreement about Jiva, therefore what is the param purushartha, what is the ultimate goal to be attained by Jiva, even this is difficult to figure out. Because someone is saying that moksha is prakriti purusha viveka, Patanjali says chitta vritti nirodha, Nyaya says 21 types of misery, Mīmānsaka says go to Swarga. So various ideas coming. So asata eva brahmatvasya utpatti moksham ye Patanjaladeyo vadanti. So he says, I don't know from where he got this idea, but he says, Patanjali says that from asat you attain from asat comes the Brahman. I don't know from where he got that. And knowing that one becomes liberated moksham. Then sadindivyani sadbuddhya sadvishya sukham dukkham shariram cheti ekvinshti prakarak dukkha. Nayayikas say that there are 21 types of suffering. Which are those 6 senses, 6 sense objects, 6 types of knowledge, then happiness and suffering. Happiness is also suffering, and the body. Body is suffering, that everybody agrees to that, right? Nobody has any opposition to that. So Nayayika say that you destroy this evam mriti nasam moksham, that is moksha. Utapi atmani gunmaya atmani bhidam tasya gunmayatvam atmavatam eva moksha. And to know that Atma is different from the gunas, although at present it is mixed. So to have that vivek, that discrimination, that is moksha, this is Sankhya Viga. Vipanam Vyavaharam Karam Phalam. Vipana means Vyavahar, dealing, business. So you give something to the devas, they will take you to heaven. That is the Te Deva Bhavayantu Parasparam Bhavayanta Shreya Param Vapshata. Deva Bhavayatanena Te Deva Bhavayanta. This is business, Vipanam. You offer oblation to the Deva takes you to heaven. So their goal is to go to heaven. So this is Mīmānsaka. Sarvai āropitaihi āropitaireva updeshanti. So all these people who are speaking like this, they are doing it by āropa, means by imposition of all these material qualities, material gunas onto Atma. The reality is not like that. Na tattva drishtya. This is not with the proper understanding of truth. Yatah purushasya jivatmanas trigunmayatve sarvamidam sangachet. Because all this which they explain, it's possible if you think that Atma is trigunmaya. Na tu tadasti, but Atma is not having any 3 gunas. Satu vastuto nirguna eva iti dyotyante ahu. Jiva in reality is nirguna, it is free from the gunas, to show that the Shrutis speak the second half of the verse. Trigunmaya pumaniti bhidaya bodha krito tvaina tataya paratrana. So Trigunmaya puman jiva iti ya bhida jivasya trigunmaya rupayo vedheda. So those who say that Jiva is Trigunmaya, Sayat yasmat abodhkrita, that is out of ignorance only, avidya, because that's not true. Ya tvadiya avidya shaktis tat kalpita hai. That is only imagined because of the avidya shakti of Bhagavan. So all these sages also have some avidya in them, and then they speak like that. Natu vastutaye ityartha. In reality it is not true. Sacha jivatmani eva prabhavati natu tvai paramatmani. And this avidya has spreads its influence only on the jivas and not on Bhagavan. So therefore Jiva is called abodhakrita and he is called abodharasa. Abodha means awareness. Abodha means ignorance. Ya tvadiya avidya shaktis tatkalpita eva natu vastuta ityarthi sacha jivatmani eva prabhavati natu tvai paramatmani ityahu sa bodhas tvai na jivasya eva avidyaya avaranam pratitam. So only Jiva has got the covering of avidya, not Paramatma, not Bhagavan. Natu tava ityartha. Why is that? Tatah paratra tava mayati tattva avidyayascha mayavrititvat nimyatva chaiti bhaya. Because you are beyond Maya, so you are not covered by Maya, and you are the controller of Maya. Kidrase, what type of you are? Abodharase, Sampurna Chidayaka Rase. So you are absolutely pure consciousness, conscious being. Yatha andhakar tejah punjah suryam avaritum asamartha. So just like darkness cannot cover the sun, which is a mass of light. Tejah kanam swar rajata adikam swavyaptam karoti. But darkness can cover piece of gold. So piece of gold is also tejas padartha, right? We studied this in Nyaya. So like that, avidya cannot cover Paramatma, who is like the sun, but can cover the Jiva, who is like also Chitkan, who is also conscious, but he is like the gold piece, which is Tejas, but mixed with earth. So like that it can cover. And then there is the Pramana, there is Shruti. Avidyayam antare vartamana swayam dhiro panditam manyamana janghanyamana vada vivadair ityartha. So those who are existing in avidya and they think they are panditas, they are learned scholar, panditam manyamana, and janghanyamana, they are fighting with each other with vad and vivad. Nayayikas, they speak against Sankhya, Sankhya speaks against Mīmansaka, Mīmansa speak against yoga, all that. And they are all Pandit. So this goes on. And then verse number 26. Sadeva manas trivritvai vibhati asadama manujat sadabhimrshanti asheshamidamaatmataya atmavidu nahi vikritim tyajanti kanakasya tadatmataya Sakritam anupravishtam idamatmataya vasitam. So sadeva manah trivritvai vibhati asada manujat. So he says a manujat, beginning from the human body up to the three gunas, everything is a kalpana, imagination of the mind. So this is Advaita Vedanta. Sadeva manas trivritvai vibhati asadam anujat sadabhimrshanti ashesham idam atmataya atmavidu. So although it is asat, but still they think it is Sat. Sadabhimrishanti asheshamidam atmataya, that this is real, this is life, mistaking the body for the self. But it is not really true. Sadabhimrishanti asheshamidam atmataya atmavidu. Nahi vikritim tyajanti kanakasya tadatmataya. But those who know the truth, they understand that this world is also Brahman, but it has taken these various forms. Sarvam khalu idam Brahma. So he said, just like if you take gold and from the gold you make ornaments. So when you see the ornaments made from gold, a goldsmith, people think this is ornament. If you take it to the goldsmith, he only is seeing it as a piece of gold. For him the value is that it is gold, that's all. So like that, those who are Brahmagyanis, they see that all this name and form is actually Brahman only. Their drishti is only on that. So nahi vikritim tyajanti kanakasya tadatmataya. So this is the vikriti, transformation of the kanak of the gold, and they don't think it but take it as gold only. Swakritam anupravishtam vidam atmataya vishitam. Because you have entered into this which is your own creation and you are existing as Paramatma, atmataya avisitam. So this is, they know this, and this is how you exist. Atra त्रिगुणमय पुमान इति विभेति और विभाति. विभेति यत्र ज्ञानिनां मते जीवात्मनि त्रिगुणमयत्वमेव भेदा परमात्मन सकाशात भेदो ज्ञान कल्पित. So those who are jnanis, they say that the distinction between Atma and Paramatma, this is because of Agyan, ignorance. Jnanam natu tasmin jnane nashte agyane nashte sati bhede chatirohite se Paramatma eva bhavati. So this is how the jnanis think, that when the ignorance is removed, then the distinction between Atma and Paramatma drops, then Atma is Paramatma. Ato Jivatma nam Paramatma to na prithak vastu rupa iti. Therefore Jivatma, Jiva is not something different from Paramatma. That's what they think, that there is only Brahman. I am Brahmasmi. Idam ashesham trivritam trigunatmakam prapanch jatam Amanujat, Manuj Purusho Jivastam Abhyapya Sadivana tu Sat. So all this prapancha, this material world which is made from Triguna up to the human beings, this is not real, but like real. Therefore the Shruti says Sat Eva. It is not Sat. It's not real, but looks like real. Why it is not real? Yato manah mano matra vilasitam ityartha. Because it is all a vilas of mind. It is all a manifestation of our imagination. Seeing the snake in the rope. It's actually rope, but you are mistaking it for snake. So that snake is manokalpita, to imagination. There is no snake, there is only rope. So there is only Brahman. None of these things what you are seeing. So this is Vivartavad. So this is not Vyavaharic, Paramarthik Satta, Vyavaharic Satta. So this is not real. Asato adhimano asrijyata. So asata from the cause, adhimana srijyata. the intelligence created all this. Manaha adhimana means that mind which became in charge. Manaha prajapati asrijat, then mind make prajapati. Prajapati praja asrijat, then prajapati created it, living beings. Tadvaidam manasiyeva paramam pratishtitam. So therefore it is only my manas that which has produced all this. Yadidam kincha, whatever you see is nothing but creation of the mind. So iti arthasya, the meaning also. Asadvaidam agre asit. In the beginning there was only asat. So sometimes it is said sadvaidam agre asit. In the beginning there was only sat. But it is also said asadvaidam agre asit. So when it is said that in the beginning there was only asat, there asat means that everything was in its causal state. And when it is said in the beginning there was sat, means the truth was there in the beginning. So both types of statements are there in the Shruti, but their meaning has to be understood. And then asato brahmano nimittat adhina vidyate dhiri yasmat iti ajnanam eva manorupena vyavartate. And then asat is brahmana, and Brahman is, so Brahman is called asat, which means subtle and cause. So he is a nimitta karana, abhin nimitta upadan karana. So because of Brahman, then mind came into existence, manorupena vyavartata. There was a vivarta in the form of mind. Tacha samastiyatmakam mana prajapatim tadabhimaninam asrajat. Then the cosmic mind which came first, then that created Prajapati, who is the abhimani of that. Vyaktam akarod, manifested. न तो आत्मविदामपि विश्वं हि यदुपादानकं यत कार्यं भवति तत्तेनैव रूपेण प्रतीयते उपादीयते च इति लोकाचारेण दर्शयन्ते. But this kind of ignorance does not exist in those who are Atmavit, those who are knower of the truth, the self. So they understand that this is all name and form, the creation, but the reality is beyond that. So they do not accept all this name and form as real. Tat tenaiva rupena pratiyate upadiyate chaiti lokacharena darshanti. So he gives example of this. Nahi vikritam iti, that the transformation of the gold. Kanakasya vikritim kundaladikam Kanakarthino ne tyajanti. So those who are interested in gold, they see an ornament made of gold. So then they don't say, oh, this is not gold. I don't want this. No, they know this is gold. So in the same way, those who know the truth, they also see this material world as manifestation of Bhagavan, and therefore they don't give it up. They see that it is also his manifestation. Tatra hetu tadatmataya kanak rupatvenaiva. So what is the reason for that? Because they see the golden ornament also as gold only. So similarly they see this material world also as Bhagavan. Idam hi vishwam Bhagavan ivetaro. Narad Muni says in Bhāgavatam that this Vishwa is also like Bhagavan. Like here it says Sad Eva. That's also like Sat. So he also says Bhagavan ivetaro. Atah swakritam idam vishwam tadanu pravishtam purus swarupam cha Atmataya eva avasitam nischitam jnanibhi. So therefore the jnanis, they understand that this world is created by Bhagavan, and then after creating this he has entered into it. So their drishti, their vision is only on that person who has entered into it, and thus they ascertain this as all self. This is the meaning Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma, or Krishna also says Vasudeva Sarvamiti, that all this is Vasudeva only. So their bhava, their vision is to see the presence of Atma or Supreme, everything. Etadeva aparoksha jnanam sansara bandha mochkamiti bhava. So in their view, this kind of knowledge, direct experience of this is what brings bandha mochaka, freedom from bondage to the material world. So in the previous sloka, he showed the philosophies of Sankhya, Mīmaṅsaka, Yoga, Nyaya. So Nyaya Vaisheshika go together, Sankhya, Yoga go together, then Mīmaṅsa is there. And this is Vedanta, Saddarshana. So those 5 were mentioned in the previous sloka, and the 6th one is mentioned in this one. So this is the proper understanding, knowing that everything is manifestation of Paramatma only, and therefore nothing should be misused or exploited, knowing that, well, Isavashamidam sarvam yat kinchit jagatyam jagat tena taktena bhanjita magrid kasvidhanam. So that is the understanding. So this is the end of sloka 26. And we stop here if there is any question.
Babaji, do the Mīmaṅsaka accept Bhagavad Gita?
Bhagavad Gita?
Yes.
No, they are not into Bhagavad Gita.
So, they don't accept or
No question of accepting or rejecting, it's not their book. They keep distance.
So they don't see as a part of the Veda then?
Bhagavad Gita is not part of Veda.
Is it Purana definitely, Mahabharata, yes.
No, their pramana is Vedas. So Swarg Kamo Yajet. Darshpurnmasabhyam Swarg Kamo Yajet.
But even in Vedas, they only accept they don't accept the 4th part, right? The Upanishads, basically.
No, they accept, but they give their own understanding. Say this is all Arthavad. Upanishad.
Upanishad is Arthavad. Okay, thank you.
Aditya.
Babaji, I've always had a little bit of confusion on this mantra in Vaidya Upanishad that after creating the world, then Brahman has entered it. Why is it this temporal? Like, why is it that the creation happens first and then Bhagavan or Brahman enters into it? Shouldn't it be simultaneous?
First you build your house, then you enter the house? Or you do it simultaneously? First you make the shirt and then you put it on. How will you enter? How will you enter it while you're making it?
I figured it'd just be because it's a Shakti though, right? So, I mean, okay, maybe, no.
Sudham Suji.
Babaji, I have a question. Like when we take this example of gold and ornaments and compare it with the Bhagwan and this world, but whether gold and ornaments are there or gold, they have some common things when we perceive that. But when we see the Lakshana of Bhagwan and world, there is nothing common things. So how to understand this?
Nothing is common.
Yes, because it is Satchit Anand, but here in this world nothing seems Sat, nothing seems Chit, nothing Anand.
Nothing seems Sat. What is the meaning of Sat?
Sat means which is permanent thing, something.
No, you have to define.
Permanent.
You have to define what is Sat. So,
Which doesn't change in past, present and future.
so that is your definition of Sat. So there are living beings here. Atma is there in the living beings. That doesn't change.
But we see changing in the we don't perceive.
If you don't perceive, that's what he is telling you to perceive it. That's the whole idea. Then don't just focus on the change. That is the Vikriti. He says, think of the Prakriti. That's what he said. Nahi Vikritim Tyajanti. That's what he was saying. Also, material nature, if you take this creation as material nature, so that is Sat. It remains material nature only, it doesn't change into something else. Sat means existence. Sat. That it doesn't change, that is okay, one way of defining, but that's not the only definition. Sat means that which exists. Like you said, table, this is table. Don't you say that the table is Sat? Asti, right?
Yes.
You say Asti. So anything which has Satta, that's what you call Sat. The word Satta is nothing but Sat plus Ta Pratyaya. Like you have the word Sattva.
Yes.
So all these things, objects, table, chair, book, they all have Satta. So they're all Sat. Naste vidyito bhavo na bhavo vidyate satah. So this
Then what is Nasti, Babaji?
Nasti is that something like horn of a hare or Bandhya Putra, son of a barren woman. That is Nasti. That is Asat. By your own definition, Asat will be that which doesn't exist in past, present or future. That is Asat, because you said Sat is that which exists in past, present and future. So it exists doesn't mean that it doesn't change form. So there are two types of Sat. That it exists in past, present and future and it doesn't undergo transformation. That is one type of Sat. And it exists in past, present and future, but it undergoes transformation. That is the second type of Sat. That is Vaishnava understanding. And Advaitavad is only one type, because they want to prove only Brahman.
And Chitanand not there.
Chit means consciousness, Jiva has that.
Yes.
Ananda is not there. Okay, Hage.
Babaji, are Yanis just a category for Vedanta, or does it include Samkhya and Nyayayikas?
Generally, the word Jnani is used for Advaita Vedanti. That is specifically the word used for them. But sometimes Sankhya people can also be called like that. Okay. Yes.
Among the 21 sufferings of Nyaya, what are the Shad Buddhaya?
Knowledge.
Six
Types of knowledge. Because Janati Ichhati Karoti. First you know that there is gulab jamun or chocolate. Then you wish, I want to eat. Then you eat it, and of course you overeat. Then stomachache. So it's suffering.
So it means 6 types of knowledge which are received through 6 senses.
Yeah.
And later in the same commentary, Vishwanath Chakravartipad said that according to these 5 darshanas, Jiva is made of 3 gunas. Is it correct?
Yeah, I mean, as we know that Jiva is not made from 3 gunas, but they treat it like that.
That means that they do not consider it to be a specific Shakti which is different from this one.
Because you see, Nayayikas, their Jiva is not conscious. Vaisesika same. Yoga, Sankhya, you don't know what it is. After you attain moksha, then what? What happens? Mimamsa talks about going to heaven. Doesn't use the word moksha.
But they also accept Upanishads, and in today's first verse which you read, actually, commentary from yesterday. So there was this quotation, Atmavare Chadraštavya. So Upanishad...
There, Sastrasya Kriyarthatvat. That is the main thing. That Shastra, the essence of Shastra is in Kriya, which means doing yajna. Not all this Atmavare Drashtavya. This is Arthavad. Yes, Vilas.
Yesterday in the class, there was a commentary on Atma Hananam. So, and I understood it means to kill the Atma. But then we also hear that the Atma cannot be killed, right? And so could it maybe also mean that it's just some kind of hurt of our self-interest?
It basically means not doing something hurt. Killing here is not killing, literally killing.
So Atma here, what does it mean? Is it the body? Is it the mind?
The human life is meant for attaining Bhagwan. If you don't do that, then you are killing your soul. That's what it means. Means you are not reaching the goal which you are supposed to reach. That is what it means. If you have big piece of diamond and you don't know that it is diamond, you are only using it as paperweight. So then this diamond, you have killed a diamond. That's what it means. Figuratively, it's a figurative use.
Mohini has a question. In Friday's class, the interpretation of Vijnana Kosha as the Jiva and Ananda Kosha as a Paramatma was discussed. Is this understanding unique to the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, or is it also found in other Vaishnava Sampradayas?
This is the Vaishnava opinion.